Hi students, today we are going to continue the lesson that we were doing, lesson number 5, plant reproduction. Plant reproduction. In the last class we learned that sexual reproduction. Today we are going to learn vegetative reproduction. We learned that, let us a little bit recollect from the previous lesson that we studied that there are two types of reproduction. Number 1, sexual reproduction. Number 2, vegetative reproduction. We already have done sexual reproduction. Now we are going to do vegetative reproduction. What is vegetative reproduction? In vegetative reproduction, the new plants are grown from the vegetative parts of the plants such as roots, stems and leaves. In sexual reproduction, we learned that the new plant grows from the seeds. But in vegetative reproduction, new plants are grown from the vegetative part of the plant such as roots, stems and leaves. Now we'll see one by one the vegetative reproduction from these roots, stems and leaves. In vegetative reproduction, the new plants grow from stem, roots and then leaves. Now first we'll see growing plants from stem. These stems have buds on them. Example, rose, hibiscus, bougainvillea. Now if you want to grow a new plant from hibiscus, then you have to cut and take a stem of it, or the vegetative part of the hibiscus, that is stem. Now you cut and take a stem and then put in soil, then pour water, and if you keep the plant in sufficient sunlight, it should get sufficient sunlight and then air, then this plant will grow to a new plant. On this there are buds. From the buds the new branches grows. And there are some plants we can grow even in water. That is example, money plant we can grow in water. This money plant also, see here, you can see here, this is a money plant and it is grown in the water. This is already grown and it has so many roots. So this is how we grow a new plant from a stem or from a cutting. And then there are some stems which grow underground. Example, ginger, potato, onion. Now this also have buds. See here on potato, you can see the buds. Here, buds are there. These buds grow and then new plant will grow from this. And here, ginger. This also has buds on it. It's already started growing and this will become a new plant. This buds grows and then new plant will grow from this. Same onion. From here the new buds grows and then from here the new plant will grow. Now we'll see second one, that is growing plants from root. Growing new plants from root. To grow new plants from roots, for that we use some roots. Example, carrot, radish. Okay, if you want to grow a new plant from this carrot, then this root, this is carrot, carrot is a root, and this root if we plant, then from this the new plant will grow. We learned that new plants grow from stems, from roots. Now we are going to learn growing plants from leaves. In this case, leaves have buds on it. On the margin of the leaf, there are buds. From these buds, the new plant grows. Example, bryophyllum. They have buds on the margin. On the margin of the leaf, there are buds. From these buds, the new plant grows. Fourth one, growing plants from spores. There are some plants, they don't have flower, fruits or seeds. Example, moss and fern. These plants, they have a special structure on their leaves that is called spores. From these spores, the new plants grow. In fern, we find that there are some spores, a group of spores found in them in the form of sorry. In fern plants, there are spores, group of spores found in the form of sorry. That is called sorry. Now let's do the objectives. We have completed the lesson. So we will start with fill in the blanks. Very easy. We have already learned. Now you will be able to answer. Number 1. Female gamete is present inside the dash. Where we find female gamete? If you remember the diagram, you will be able to answer. We learned that female reproductive organ, it has 3 parts: stigma, style and ovary. That ovary turns to fruit. Inside the ovary there is ovule. So only I have done this much part. So you should just to recollect. Okay. So ovary turns to fruit. The wall of the ovary becomes fruit wall. And inside the ovary there is ovule. And inside this ovule there is female gamete. Okay. So female gamete is present inside the ovule is the answer. Number 2. Coconut dispersed by water. We have learned that seed dispersal by wind, air and water, all this explosion, dispersed by animals. So coconut dispersed by dash. Coconut dispersed by water. Seed dispersal by through water. In that example we learned that coconut. So coconut dispersed by water. Third one, the ovule inside the ovary develops into seed. Just now for the first question I was explaining again. The ovule inside the ovary. Inside the ovary there is ovule. This ovary turns to fruit, and inside the ovary there is ovule. This ovule turns to or develops into seed. Okay, seed is the answer. Fourth one, wing and hair are found in seeds that are dispersed by wind. Seeds dispersal by wind. In that we learned these seeds have wing-like structure or hair on that. So this will help them to disperse by wind. So wing and hair are found in seeds that are dispersed by dash. Answer is wind. Fifth one, seeds of pea and poppy get dispersed by explosion. Seed dispersal through explosion. In that we learn the fruit of pea and poppy, when they are ripened, when they are ready, it explodes and then the seeds will come out of that, and then the dispersal takes place. It scatters everywhere. Okay. So by explosion, explosion is the answer. Seeds of pea and poppy get disposed by explosion is the answer. I will see the following statements are true or false, whether they are true or false. If it is true, we have to write T, and if it is false, we have to write F. We'll see the first one. Potatoes grow underground and new plants can be grown from its root. Just now we learned that potatoes have buds on it. From the buds, the new plant grows. So the statement is true or false. Here it says new plants can be grown from its root. It is false. New plants can be grown from the buds. This is false. Second one. All seeds grow immediately when we put them on soil. Is it possible? No, it is not possible. It takes time. It has to absorb water from the soil and swollen up. Then it starts germinating. Then sprouts comes and then the plants grow. It takes time. All seeds grow immediately when we put them on soil. It is false. So number 1 false, number 2 also false. Number 3, plants scatter their seeds for proper growth. We studied that there are some plants, seeds, it falls just below the mother plant, nearby the mother plant. Then the new plants which grow, it will not have sufficient place to grow properly, and it doesn't have sufficient fertilizer, so the proper growth won't take place. So what we should do? We should scatter the seeds for their proper growth. So plants scatter their seeds for proper growth. It is true. Fourth, fruit and seed formation occur after fertilization. In sexual reproduction, we learned that there are 3 major steps. Number 1, pollination. Number 2, fertilization. Number 3, fruit and seed formation. So that is the 3rd step, fruit and seed formation. So that is after fertilization. Without fertilization, fruit and seed will not form. So fruit and seed formation occur after fertilization. It is true. Now we'll do pick the correct answer. First question, fertilization occurs. There are 4 options given. We'll see which is the right answer, which is the correct option. We'll pick the correct option. Okay. Let's go to number 1. A is saying after seed formation, fertilization occurs. A, after seed formation. B, after pollination. C, after fruit formation. D, before pollination. We've done that sexual reproduction. In that there are 3 steps, major steps. First one, pollination. Second one, fertilization. Third one, fruit and seed formation. Here, fertilization occurs after pollination. So, the first thing, pollination. Second one is fertilization. So, after pollination is the right answer. So we have to tick the B option after pollination. Second one, the ovary of a flower develops into A, seed, B, fruit, C, fruit ball, and D, embryo. We learned that after fertilization, there are some changes takes place in a flower. Sepals will, first thing is that color will go off. The flower's color will go off. After that, sepals, petals and stamens fall off. Then the third thing is what? The ovary starts growing in size. It grows into big size. So the ovary of a flower develops into a, that ovary starts growing in big size and it turns to fruit. That is what we studied. So fruit is the answer. The ovary of a flower develops into a fruit. Okay, remember that? Yes. So B is the answer. Fruit. Number 3. Pollen tube grows downwards into the A, style, B, stigma, C, pollen, D, anther. Let's just recollect what we learned. Pollen grains transfer from anther to stigma, right? And once it reaches to stigma, it starts germinating in the stigma, and then the pollen tubes grow downwards to the style. In the stigma, the pollen grains comes, and then from there it grows downward to the next part is style, and then it comes to the ovary. What comes to the ovary? The male gamete. Through the pollen tube it comes to the ovary, and then inside the ovule the female gamete is there, it fuses there. That is what we studied, right? So pollen tube grows downwards into the style, not stigma, because from stigma it grows downwards, and pollen is from anther, pollen grains transfers to stigma. So from anther the pollen grains transfer to stigma, and then from there it pollen tubes grows downwards to the style. So the style is the answer. Number 4. Plants like fern reproduce from A, roots, B, stems, C, flowers, D, spores. We studied that there are some plants, they don't have flowers, fruits or seeds. Example, fern. They have a special structure called spores on their leaves. From these spores the new plants grow. That is what we studied. So plants like fern reproduce from spores is the right answer. 5. Reproduction of bryophyllum occurs through A, root, B, stem, C, leaves, D, branches. We studied that there are some plants, the new plants grow from their leaves. Example, bryophyllum. This plant's leaves have buds on the margin of the leaves. These leaves have buds on their margin. From this buds the new plants will grow. So a reproduction of bryophyllum occurs through leaves. C is the answer. A reproduction of bryophyllum occurs through leaves. Option C is the answer. With this we finished the objectives. Fill in the blanks, true or false, and tick the correct answer. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe. Press the bell icon to stay tuned.